illusion there, not the Jarvan sitting in the top lane.
I think it remains to be seen. I think PDD does like his Lee Sin, so it wouldn't be a surprise if there was switches coming out. I think once again we see the Wombos coming from the Chinese teams. They do love them, but definitely more so towards the Invictus Gaming this time.
Definitely, and they've finished off on WE with a Nunu and a Vayne, so we may see Troll go around in Invictus's jungle quite a lot to see if he can deny quite a lot of those buffs to Lee Sin and the rest of his team. That it definitely comes very heavily into play when taking out those key points on the map, that Dragon, the Baron, and trying to deal with the other person's jungle. Very, very effective as a Nunu.
Yeah, I think I'm really looking forward to this, because I think in Orianna, Shield, Jarvan, Engage, Sona, Ezreal come over the top, and Lee Sin will just be there trying to get a bit of lanes kind of moving for some of their players, and then once we actually get into kind of roaming stage, looking to pick off some of the champs. So there's a lot of teamfight commitment coming out from Invictus Gaming. And it'll be interesting to see just how this plays out.
Yeah, we'll just see if we can get the spectation up now. Here we go. It's coming up for me in just a moment. I'll get the loading screen going. So let's have a look at some of these lane matchups that they've chosen to go for. Specifically, the Vayne Ezreal is an interesting one. Of course, we did see the Ezreal come out from Invictus very early on, and they responded to that with a Vayne, and especially with their team comp trying to disrupt the team with Thresh and then moving with Vayne to pick up the kill. How do you think? I mean, Condemn doesn't work as well against Ezreal in the early game because he does have his peel, he does have his jump, his arcane shift. How do you think that'll translate into the bot lane?
I think very early in the lane, level 1, level 2, they'll be looking to lock down Xiao on Sona. Sona, before she backs, is very squishy, but once she gets past that kind of level 5, level 6, once she picks up some of those health items, Sight, Stone, and so on, she's less abusable by Thresh. But before that, Vayne, Thresh, he's got a hard time in store for him on Sona. So we'll see if they actually get through that. I don't think Ez is going to be overly overly of a concern, but it really depends on just how they play it out, and because these lanes just have tendencies to go one way or the other and just not come back from them. Someone pressures and they just have the lane control for the rest of the game, or lane stage.
They very much do. Now, sitting with Kennen and Jarvan up the top lane as well. Jarvan has great poke over the minion line, so Kennen may have a bit more trouble trying to deal with them in the early game, but there is a lot of mobility coming out from Lee Sin as well. So I think with the Dragon Strike, Demacia, and standard jump, they could very much get the jump on Kennen, on Xiaomei there. They may have a bit of trouble in that bot lane if he chooses to camp it. There's enough mobility in the bot lane coming out from Invictus for them to stay a lot safer, so I think Lee Sin will be focusing more on the mid and the top lanes.
Yeah, I think the potential for an actual solid gank coming out bot lane is still there.
Yeah, definitely.
And definitely once they get to that level 6 point, there'll be a lot of pressure, depending on whether Illusion wants to head down bot lane and make something happen there, or in other lanes. But you don't want to lose out on that final hour Requiem kind of combo coming out, because it's such a power surge for Vayne at that point.
Definitely, and there's going to be a vie for Doran's blades down the bottom in the bottom lane with Vayne and Ezreal. So it's a very hard hitting lane. It's very face on. There's not enough sustain to really keep them going over on WE's side, but Invictus have that Sona there to heal. So if the mobility is there and the range with Ezreal's Q is there as well, I think they could push the lane out a little bit earlier if they wanted to. If they would it up well, and if they kept that Nunu away from them, they could definitely start controlling that lane early on. Whether or not that's going to dominate the lane, I don't know, because if WX is able to stay in just a little bit longer for that bot lane, then he can go back and he can supply up, he can stock up with something like a Vamp Scepter, and then come in and then out-sustain the Ezreal. And it'll be that little vibe control, I think.
Yeah, well, we'll see. You may need to press backspace at this point. I'm not sure. just to sync up if you haven't already.
Yep, synced up there.
All right. Now, it's great to see PDD. Maybe some of the viewers have heard he was in a bit of a car accident regarding some breakfast that he really wanted to get to, but nothing too serious. He missed out on the games yesterday, unfortunately, but he's back with us now with only minor flesh wounds.
I'm sure he's had a far better breakfast than he was hoping for today. But big old thank you, breakfast. It looks like we may just see an invade coming in. Yeah, it definitely is from Invictus Gaming. There's no ward gone out at the blue. Instead, WE tried to focus on in the mid lane. They thought that we were going to come through that pathway. So there's going to be no blue left for for WE as Invictus goes in and steals that. Let's see if they do manage to pick this up and go and steal themselves a blue. But it doesn't look like they'll be able to. Oh no, they have sighted it, I believe. We just double check that. Yes, they definitely have cited that Invictus have been playing up at that blue lane. Yeah, Nunu's going for that blue steal, so they're going to be okay. And it is a lane swap? No, yeah, it is a lane swap coming out for Israel and Sonic in the mid lane. How is that going to go up against Rise? He really has that wombo combo, but while he's doling out his spells, he's very, very immobile, and that's very good for Sona and Israel. They're able to auto-target him, especially Israel getting off his spells, going to be very, very effective. In the top lane, Orianna versus Kennen, they are going to swap out for that, so it's going to be a little bit better of a matchup. How do you think that swap helps them, Advocate?
Well, I think, Masai is probably looking for a fairly direct lane stage between Orianna, and if you're moving down, as you see, he's switching up now just because he doesn't want to have to deal with it.
Yeah, he'll be getting a lot of hits as soon as he started throwing out his Rune Prism and getting off his overcharge as well. He would not be moving that much, and he'd be very much isolated. It gets a lot of Qs off from Israel and really punishes him. Got Gigabyte Troll coming in from World Elite to try and help out in the mid lane. Oh no, just minion taxing,
So it's less so about just Rune Prism and more about sustain. Because to stay safe, to not take too much damage. Oh, Lee Sin. You have to really use a lot of those spells, and you're probably going to lose out on a bit of that sustain if you're not careful, and have to go back or overcommit early with a low amount of health and mana. So that's the real risk he ran, and he's been able to.
Ooh, we just see First Blood going down there. It is PDD picking up the death. Sorry, with Thresh getting the kill, and another one in mid with WE managing to take down their very own Orianna from Zatai. So it is WE taking away the first couple of kills. The way that Invictus have been moving around the map is very interesting because they're the ones that have been swapping up a lot, and then they forced that swap from WE with Rise in the mid lane. But we've had a very cheeky Sona go up and support Orianna for a bit. They've now swapped with Israel over there as well. They didn't want him to miss that initial CS when swapping lanes, so they're very much sort of matching what WE are doing. They really want to shut down those lanes early game, and this is how they're going to do it, controlling the map presence of their champions.
Yeah,
and Soda's going to run into that bush there, just barely getting caught off by a Troll and Zhao Man. There's going to be another kill going down from World Elite. Their map presence for all of this has been wonderful, trying to keep track of where all the champions are going, and it's going to be another kill going down for the ADC. Sorry, the first kill. No, that flash is going to save Illusion just barely. PDD's going to follow up on this. He did not count on that barrier. Very nice pull out from WX. Just to check, we are in sync there, aren't we, Advocate?
I could not tell you, sorry. But yeah, definitely IG's, their kind of lane switching hasn't really held too strong for them. Troll did a excellent job of kind of waiting for that next switch from Orianna, and then picking her off when she was roaming over to mid lane again. So I think credit to Troll there, and definitely IG probably being a bit too reactive to some of these things. Switching lanes consistently can get you behind in levels quite easily. So
very, very quickly.
Zatai is actually trying to take raids because he just doesn't feel safe out there with his lane pushed as far as it is. Messiah is doing a great job of actually controlling that lane there to make sure it doesn't push too far forward, and that Zitai has to play very careful just in case.
And WE have got exactly what they've wanted now. They've done the switch, and IG are not matching it for fear of sort of missing out on that lane presence. And they've taken quite a lot of hits already. They definitely need to maintain their lane presence, maintain that CS. It looks like they are pushing very hard in that bot lane. They've had that they've had that ADC support combo there for the entire matchup, and they've pushed it very hard, taking down Jarvan, pushing out Illusion a couple of times.
It's important to note that, like, while Nunu isn't really an amazing ganker, once he does actually start getting that farm, getting ahead, he starts having a massive presence in lanes just because of his blood ball, allowing him to be a bit mobile, and his overall health that he starts to build just makes him such a threat. So we may see that coming out.
Started to be a bit of a pain in the jungle. A bit of the pain in the jungle indeed has been that Nuno. So he's starting, again, as you said, he's not that great at ganking, but he is great at getting in the jungle and really making use of his consume. And it looks like he's going to make even more use of it by getting the first dragon of the game for WE. They had that map presence from taking down that bot turret. They had that control by taking down Jarvan and pushing out Illusion, and that's going to be a dragon for them. Good reward.
Yeah, but they have to be careful about top lane, certainly. But Illusion isn't planning on helping pushing out this top lane, and soon enough, Xiaomei, if he does actually get threatened, will be able to use his ultimate to hold them off for a little while, and that really does offer a lot of turnaround. But you've actually got Illusion coming up here now, looking for something.
Does manage to take out that very nice gank. We did see Zhuan coming in from base, trying to come up and protect that top lane. He just didn't get there in time. They were focusing on that dragon. It could have paid off for them a little bit better, but they did get that dragon and they did get that turret, and they have had that bot lane dominance overall anyway. And as we've said before, all of those lane swaps for IG, they've been taking them out of the game a little bit more. They've been giving them far less CS, far less experience, and that has brought them down as well. So the way that they've controlled the lanes for WE has worked out very, very well for them in the long run.
Yeah, without a doubt. But we'll see, because IG isn't some amateur team. They definitely know how to handle this, and the actual gold advantage has been slowly diminishing as they've gone along. They originally started with about 3k ahead. Overall, and obviously early game, those smaller gold leads meaning a lot more. So I think that they're holding on, and they're making this early gold lead that WE managed to eke out less of a significant thing.
Coming into the gold leads, actually, just looking at the top lanes, it's about 1,000 difference in gold, and that can easily mean the difference. So that's been Kennen having a bit of an easier time with those lane swaps, because they were able to do that very well. Kennen has a lot easier time with those 2v1 matchups as opposed to Ryze, who's nearly on to getting his Rod of Ages. And him, in terms of the mid lane, he's been doing very equally. Orianna's been switching out a bit as well. Junglers have been doing very well. They're just about 300 difference from them, but the ADCs are crushingly different with almost 1,000 moving in. Well, you see that massive turret dive in the bot lane with Kid and Xiao Xiao coming in and taking out Kennen with that lane swap. They just wanted to maintain that lane with Kennen, but it looks like Kid and Xiao Xiao called that out and jumped right on the bandwagon. Another flash from Illusion to try and get out the situation. He does manage to kick away Troll and dash to Zitai, but it's not going to be enough to save him. A bit of a save from Zitai himself, getting out that ultimate to keep them away, and a flash over the wall's not going to help them as it's mashed by WX and an auto. They're going on a slaughter fest. This is WE really taking away game number 1 here, 7-2.
Oh, so it's not over yet.
It's definitely not over yet, as we've seen before.
This team comp coming out from IG definitely has a lot of turnaround potential, and it's just one good team fight or one throw at Baron away from IG eking its way back into the game.
Yeah, as we said so before, Thresh, he's got that little bit of initiate, but it can be taken from PDD on Jarvan very, very easily. He can isolate the team once Thresh is gone, and so Thresh probably won't be thinking to initiate, but if he does, Jarvan can make a big play out of that.
Well, we'll see. He'll certainly be. Vayne will be doing her own thing, I think, and it's hard for PDD to try to work out who he wants to actually focus on. Purely because there's so many big threats in this. Messiah on Rise, you've got Xiaomei on Kennen, and then you've even got Wei Xiao on Vayne. So like you can't trap them all if they're playing smart. So
yeah, and if you want to go straight for that Vayne, she's going to be at the back of the team fight, and as soon as he jumps on her, the rest of WE is going to be right on him, and that could easily be the first kill of the team fight with no more follow-up.
But right now we've just gone back into passive laning again, which I'm sure Messiah is quite a fan of.
Oh, Xiao getting caught out from the ult from Troll. She does manage to flash out just barely in time. And it does look like they will be backing out. Just a couple of pot shots going off from both teams. Very good save from Invictus.
Yeah, and what this means, I guess, with a few of the strong champions, sorry, a few of the significant ones on fairly low health, it probably means that they can put a bit of pressure on the mid lane. But they do have to be careful of PDD because that Orianna shield, Jarvan hold engage is still a big threat.
Yeah, they've got great sieging potential. It was interesting to see them stay away from that turret. I think they were a bit too afraid of Juan M sitting on the Thresh. Orianna not using the range to her advantage.
Yeah, well, Orianna doesn't actually have an amazing range in terms of her. It's fairly deceptive. She has to be very careful with her ball positioning. She has to actually get quite close into the fight. That's why she relies on these hard engaged champions to be the kind of pallbearer for the death ball that she delivers.
Getting that command defense off on Jarvan on the Cataclysm works very well.
But we've just got PDD trying to catch up in levels and farm, so he's been a bit hard done by that the kind of lane switches and the bot lane that just didn't work out for him, which is not overly a surprise. Thresh is great in a 2v1 lane. Even if you miss that death sentence, he's still got his flay to drag you back in, and if you time that well enough, you can cancel the combo, the flag spear combo. So it can be pretty brutal against the Jarvan.
Oh, he's managing to get off a grab there, locking down Xiao Xiao, and there's that Rise finishing off the kill. Sorry, Kennen grabbing off that kill, but Rise going in there to secure it with a flash and a Rune Prism. Looks like they're going to be stealing another buff coming into the jungle. Oh, Kennen has jumped straight in, a kick away from Illusion's going to save him from that fight. They are going to get right back in it though with the ultimate going down on PDD. He has gone and isolated Kennen and Orianna there.
Fizz making some great pulls coming out though, so credit to him. As he was last game as well on Blitzcrank, if anyone missed that, he was just doing an excellent job taking people out. But Troll going pretty ham, there's no doubt.
Yeah, we've had Kid and Wei Xiao staying very much out of the team fights. They've had great range in the team fights. Great ADC control. You can see that chase going out from Troll onto Kid was not going in his favor.
Yeah, well, the sort of Nunu Vayne combo, obviously previously you saw Nunu in a support role with Caitlyn and so on. Yeah. But that Blood Boil is just working wonders on Vayne at the moment. So even now.
And they had that early game gold advantage. She's picked herself up a Blade of the Ruined King. That's going to be very shredding through that Jarvan. And he's always going to be that center stone of the team fight. And that's really taken him out.
Yeah, well, he's certainly going to be in the front line, but they will be looking for those, what with their AoE team comp, you've got Rise, you've got Kennen there. Well, IG's really, really wanting these towers, though, which is definitely the kind of modus operandi they've shown before. It's objective-based play that has really won them the games to actually get here to the grand finals.
having that side stone on Lisa is going to help them out quite a lot as well. There have been a little bit more roaming from WE into the jungle of IG. They did do that because they had that early map awareness from taking down the turrets earlier than IG did. But it looks like they have gone double side stone to keep very, very good eyes on the map.
Yeah, well, but that's kind of countered by Troll once again, picking up an early Oracles. I said before in the 3.9 patch, even if you do die, your Oracles doesn't disappear. So it's just an ideal pickup against, particularly when you have the advantage. That's the original reason why the Oracles was nerfed, because it took an advantage and it just snowballed it so far ahead. Vision control in these games is just so essential. Particularly against these kind of roaming teams.
We are seeing WE converge on the top lane. That looks like it's going to be their next objective. The back did go out from Kid and PDD, so the advantage right now is to WE, but they're not following up on this. They did find another ward. Yeah, they've taken all the vision away from this jungle. That Oracles is working so well for Troll.
Yeah, as it did last game, that he pulled it out as well. Though even more essential against an Eve. It's just it's so taxing to constantly have to buy pink wars, and if they're being invalidated by an Oracles, you're just getting nothing worth out of it. You're really setting the team behind, even by choosing a not so direct item as the Oracles to do so. Don't forget, feel free to interrupt me, because I'm
no team fights going down here.
Yeah.
They're just trying to ward up again to make sure they've got sight on their base, but we know Nunu's going to run right back in, pick up the feed. His Oracles is only halfway down as well.
Yeah, IG really searching for an answer to this WE pressure. They're pushing lanes, and you know, a lot of these champions that you just don't want to be doing well, don't want to be getting to a late game stage or even through mid game without punishing, have been unpunished. So you know, you've got Kennen, who's absolutely fine at this point. He's died 3 times, but he's the only other death on the team is from Messiah. So, and he's getting the those kind of items up that allow him to shred through. So the Horning guys and the Zhonya's, so he can just place himself in the front line and not have to worry.
That's going to be so effective coming into fights for WE. Seeing as the rest of them have been doing so well in terms of damage, once he's out of that team fight, once he's burned all of his spells, they can follow up very, very nicely because they're the ones getting so much more fed.
Yeah, I think you know, it's we should talk about Rise, because Rise is actually getting, well, it's been suggested some nerfs to him in the upcoming patch, and he wasn't always known as he was always known as a kind of late game champion, but he hasn't seen as much presence as he has in this in the Chinese scene. He's always seen their
Syndras. They really love their Lissandras.
Yeah, and so it's great to see Rise coming out, and the reason why he is so strong is because there's these constant team fights that come out between these Asian teams. They do have these. It's less about lane stage, more about moving to that team fight, that roaming stage, and Rise has so many. He's kind of a passive. Well, he's not a passive, but he grants a lot of tankiness. He grants a lot of AoE damage. And a lot of auras even to the team, with sometimes the Frozen Heart pickup, sometimes the Abyssal. So just he's such a strong pick, and he's either gets banned out or picked in most of these games.
He just scales so brilliantly, either way. But just looking at what's going on right now, Invictus Gaming seem to be playing defensive, trying to find some kind of weakness to exploit to move in. But W have taken to the idea of trying to pretend to get Baron, definitely trying to anti-ward them with the Oracles on Nunu there. I'm wondering what their next objective really is. Are they trying to psych IG out by trying to get that Baron bait going? Do they have any other kind of objective?
Well, they don't really have anywhere that they can push. They've actually taken, if you look, quite a few towers. They've taken it all the frontline towers there.
Ooh, Dragon Timer coming back up.
So they can't really push down without, because of this vision denial, they can't push down anywhere near safely. So they don't really have much of an answer except farm jungle. And even then they have to be very careful because the vision coming out from Team WE is very, very strong.
Their potential to scale for that is really, really good as well, because they've got the denying from vision on Baron, and they've got the gold coming out from Dragon whenever it comes back up. So they may just outscale IG for being able to take out that Baron, and they could easily push in that way.
Yeah, but I think WE is loath to actually go attempt Baron purely because they actually were allowed back into the game essentially against OMG just last game almost by the Baron attempt, which just did quite enough damage just to make sure that WE was able to finish off enough of the key targets and kind of just get back in. And then,
Invictus have noticed the absence of WE. They're moving up into the mid lane.
Not last game, sorry. The game before last.
Oh no, Thresh may be walking into a very unfriendly bush indeed. The side has gone down. They're not going to follow up on that. They're just going to push this mid lane as much as they can. Get the map presence, get the gold. Here's the follow-up from IG.
Yeah, well, they're going to get collapsed on in a second.
They're running parallel to each other. Oh, they've got to protect that turret. The Dragon Strike Demacian standard is available on Jarvan, but he's not taking the opportunity just yet. Again, they have great siege potential, and if anyone from WE gets out of place, it's going to be a good jump from Jarvan, and then he can just retreat back to that turret. Yep, they've pushed them out very effectively.
Weijia taking a lot of damage there from the tower, which is definitely a misplay. I can't see how that would have been to his advantage, so they actually have to step back here. It catches a lot of people out, that kind of getting just out of the tower aggro. So just farming back up, they're getting a bit of lifesteal. Health back on the Vayne, and they'll probably be at it again.
Now, Lee Sin has been taking quite a lot of those items very familiar to supports. We are seeing a double Aegis come out with PDD as well, picking that up as Illusion. That's an interesting little play there, and I wonder how Sona's going to build in retaliation to this. Is she going to pick up a little bit more damage? Is she going to try and tank up herself?
She may attempt to pick up a locket, but she may supposed to be looking for some of the more items to allow her AD carry to get out of it. So say the Mikhail's Crucible to just give him a bit of a secondary cleanse. Well, a cleanse against a lot of the CC that does come out. So the Thresh, the Rise, the Cannon, loads of these champions you need to get away from suddenly, and he's not running cleanse, so he doesn't have that sort of escape. He can stay. He can E backwards. He can flux backwards, but that's only a one-time thing. So
yeah, and as long as he's sitting there spamming on the arcane shift and he has a Mikhail's Crucible available to him, stuns aren't going to do as much as they would have. Usually you'd get that insta-kill on a stun on an ADC, but yeah, we'll see how Sona does respond to this, but it's quite a defensive play coming out from Invictus.
Well, I think they're slowly regaining control, and that's credit to them once again. That they're just sieging back a bit of the vision that they were really getting denied so early.
Yeah, it's Battle of the Oracles coming out. Xiao Xiao picked himself up one, which has been helping a lot more with their sieging potential, removing WE from the jungle, and the rest of WE have also been grabbing Oracles simultaneously to each other. So it is this war back and forth between map presence and map control. Map vision,
it's kind of reminiscent of season 2. It's that there's a lot more wards going down though than the EG games pulled out. So it's actually
LG late game coming on.
Yeah, it's funny to see this, and I don't think either team. Well, probably IG is more satisfied with this, as the WE gold lead means less and less, but it's still not a position that either team are usually used to. Obviously, they're looking to be aggressive and they're looking to set their own pace, and neither team have really had that option.
We'll see if it looks like Zatai may be picking up Zonya's Hourglass. If she does want to go for the Rabadon's Death Cap, putting on more damage with the combination she can get off with Jarvan or Lee Sin coming in with her ultimate from Command Defense. But if she does go for that Hourglass over the Rabadon's Death Cap, as you said, she does need to get decently close enough into a fight to make a difference with her damage with her spells. That will really, really help her out to getting close enough to team fights to make a difference.
Yeah, well, I think at the moment, I was saying that the gold lead means less, but a lot of these champions on WE's team really benefits from a late game stage. So what that actually will mean for IG is maybe the gold lead will be less significant, but the actual champion, the team fights coming out are still going to be just as terror. The IG really has to be careful against
They do. A lot of their main damage dealers and their main CCers coming into the wombo combo that they've got going, especially with the Sona ultimate and the Orianna ultimate in particular. They're very, very low health champions that can be targeted quite easily, but can make the difference to a fight.
Once again, we've got W
playing with the bush. There's that perfect Orianna ult. They did manage to get off a great crescendo as well, following up on WE with this, but WE are just a little bit too strong. There's the Kennen Zhonya's keeping him safe from that turret, and they have walked out of this fight with a little bit of victory. We did see Zhuanim go down there, and Kid and Illusion as well over on IG's side. So they lost the ADC, they lost their jungler and their peeler a little bit. They can move in here. That Zhonya ultimate is down. Maybe they're going to be looking at taking out that Baron if they have enough control, if they push enough right now. Are they going to make that much of an advantage, or are they just going to go straight for Dragon, play it safe? Xiaomei is a little bit low. That was a very interesting fight, and it only left WE without a support. That's it.
I think it was a great play from Xiaomei there, particularly with that life-saving Zhonya's. Because he turned a team fight that wasn't looking so flash into something that was very even on both sides. So, that's definitely the Kennen strength. Oof.
Yeah, it was such an interesting fight. I think also because while Illusion was caught out in that fight in the middle of WE, we did see a very great crescendo and a very great shockwave from Orianna as well. They had them all together and it did so much damage, but the rest of the team wasn't there to follow up on it. So it did show the effectiveness of that combo, but you need that team to come back and really follow up on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of little skirmishes coming out even afterwards. PDD trying to catch people out and delay them a bit, but he just wasn't able to do enough damage nor stick around long enough to actually catch them out. So IG was looking to kind of keep WE still in their jungle, still in that point where they could catch up with PDD, but they weren't able to do that. And so once again, WE is back to the same position, kind of staying over Baron, trying to bait in IG.
And they've still got that warp control and that map control. Very close death sentence from Thresh. And it is a Rabadon's coming out from Zatai, which is an interesting play. I mean, she's going for that damage which her team is lacking because of those double bulwarks.
Yeah, well,
and
the bulwark is
progression coming out on her.
The bulwark's a very strong item. I'm actually surprised to not see it coming out on the on WE. Oh, sorry, it is there. I'm just blind.
It's there
It's very small.
But they haven't got a double bulwark. That's something.
Yeah, well, there you have it, man. What's better than one bulwark? Two bulwarks. That's just basic maths. But
yeah, why not stack boots? Come on.
This Baron kind of dance is just probably one of the longest I've ever seen. That's kind of, it's had a few interludes where we've seen other things happening, but they keep coming back to it. They just don't have a game plan that is past Baron. And while Fizz has been very close to catching out Xiao Xiao multiple times and starting and kind of taking the fights, because once you eliminate Xiao Xiao, you don't have to be so worried about IG. They've just missed them every time, just by inches at some points.
Certainly, and I've got to say, WE, the reason, like, they've got control of the map, they've got a lot of power in their team combination, and the early game, well, we are coming into a team fight, we do see Troll, he's getting the perfect position for his ultimate, getting that out, he did have to fold a bit early, down goes Xiao Zhao, getting that crescendo off on only one of WE, following up, we do actually see PDD going down very quickly, there is that Vayne follow-up, as much peel as they could spare from WE, kept that Vayne alive, and she's just ripping through everyone on IG right now.
The final just.
And they're going to be able to take that Baron. They so long.
Yeah, but Fizz just kind of underestimating that Rabadon Orianna there, and just getting cut out of there. An excellent job from Troll there, though. Once again, you know, they're just getting away with minute health.
Ooh, that was an amazing, amazing condemned coming out from Vayne, locking down Zatai on and getting that flash from Messiah. Great follow up to trying to get out that Baron. I'm not sure if there was too much of an opportunity for a steal there, but she had to do something. Now that Baron is part of WE's arsenal, they're going to be able to start pushing turrets a lot more effectively. The siege on IG is not going to be as effective.
Yeah, well, they have slightly less to fear now, but what they really want to be doing is getting a bit of tankiness at their front line, and that's, you know, Troll absorbed so much damage there. He actually managed to dodge out Xiao Zhao's Requiem.
Yeah.
Which was...
the crescendo, the crescendo.
Sorry, crescendo, yes, words. Anyway. But, Fizz is still getting those pulls in, as always. He's you know, you say mad life, but where's the Fizz calls? Because he's proven himself to be a solid player in that regard.
He was fine coming in there. And there's their easy sieging potential. They're taking that completely away from IG, following up with all the damage. I've always thought it would have been an interesting idea, just giving everyone custom item sets. So they are getting into a battle though, and that ultimate from Troll, I believe, no, it's still available. He's just trying to get that repositioning. They moved in with the ADC, put out a lot of damage. They're taking IG completely out of the picture here. Are they going to be able to move in and finish off the inhibitor for the first game? If Jarvan comes in with Illusion, there's the surrender. It's definitely not going to be a follow-up from IG. Good game with WE taking it away with they got that early game sorted very well, and then they got their sieging and their map control sorted well, especially with Troll on that Oracles. How else do you think the WE gameplay projected into this win? All right, we will be going on a very short break and get Advocate back into the stream.
I'm back.
There he is. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. Anyway, that was game number 1, and that was a little bit of a win taken away from WE. Perfect map control, perfect Vi for control at Baron. They had the positioning, I think, because of their position on the map. They were the blue team, and they had that easy access coming into Baron, so they had that control. But now we are going to go into game number 2 in just a short break, so don't go away. I'm Snowy Padre. This is Advocate coming in from the ESL, and you're watching the IEM Shanghai Grand Finals, League of Legends, WE versus Invictus.
Guys, we don't know what this does. All I know is that R&D was talking about testing HyperX technology with it.
And it looked super cool, so we just took it!
Hey-o.
What's up?
Boom!
Stole it.
There it is.
Now it's ours.
Rolled it over here.
It was in a box.
It's blue.
What'd it do?
Yeah, doesn't look that cool.
What's your problem, man?
What's this thing do? Is it wrong for me to think Expression's hot?
Yes.
No.